the administrative challenges, and second is the process itself, which is mentioned in the Code of Civil Procedure Code, where it has been given that there is a legal principle that body alter partem, where both parties are given equal opportunity to present their side. So unless and until we allow other person to give their right, we cannot go ahead with the judicial decisions. But because of that, what currently the situations in judiciary is going on, that people are using this as a tool, getting the adjournments. So suppose there is a case pendency, mostly it has been seen that advocates are asking for adjournment, that is postponing of the trial for maybe next date, and that date usually comes in a month or 2 months time. So that automatically piles up the pendency of the cases, and this number is just showing for the total number of pendency. And as per the constitution that we have been given fundamental rights, so article 21 is giving that fundamental right for a speedy trial. Speedy trial in the sense we cannot have, there were landmark cases, there are a couple of cases like under trial prisoners are in the jail system without getting trial, and even if they have any charges for which results into penalty or trial of maybe 2 years or 3 years, they are still lying in the jail system for more than 10-15 years. So that is one data is available. So to consider the fundamental right of speedy trial, there is a hurdle in administrative failure as well as the culture of adjournment. Now this particular three systems are introduced in India, and the purpose is that just to how we can have the transformation into digital media through AI and digitization. So e-code phase 3 system is introduced. E-code system is like all the starting point is always a case filing in police station. So that is called as case diary. So from that point onwards till actual court trial will start, all are recorded in e-court system. So phase 3 is for actual ecosystem. Phase 1 and 2 was for setting up the infrastructure. Parallel to that, integrated case management information system was introduced, and just to accompany them after ID Act, Digital Personal Data Protection Act, these three are the current pillars which will give a catalyst for the transformation. Now the primary research objective is to just check the digital tools for efficacy. So the ICMIS and National Judicial Data Grid statistics, which are available across the online systems, are verified. This is the qualitative analysis, and we have also checked for these mark that these are the 5 major high courts, that is Delhi, Bombay, Allahabad, Karnataka and Madras. So this data is available on NHDG, and these 3 data sources along with Code of Civil Procedure Code and DPDP Act are studying. This next. So go to fifth. Right. So e-code phase 3 project, it is going beyond to phase 1 and phase 2. Now it is creating an ecosystem where we have to check the integration between legislation created by DPDP Act, then the ICMS system, and then we also wanted to check introduction of AI to that system so that we can have a major transformation. Now the thing is, there are 4 to 5 tools which are already introduced by the system currently being used in Supreme Court, like SUPAS. So each one have their particular motto, like the Supreme Court Portal for Assistance in Court Efficiency. It is AI-driven legal research which is currently used. Then we have SUPAS, where machine learning tool which is using a natural language processing and converting the case decisions into regional languages. Then we have the National Judicial Data Grid and like I said, the ICMS, etc. Now, when we are talking about that, we should have this AI and all the technology in place. We have seen that 20% reduction, 22 to 25% reduction in the pendency of cases, as we are filing that case 24/7. So there is no limit of timelines available. So we can check the status and we can have the backend processing of that. But this is just only for the metropolitan jurisdiction. The 10,000 plus judgments are already being converted to regional languages, and it is according to the DPDP Act, and accordingly the Code of Civil Procedure code is also getting updated. Next. Okay, so as we have seen that 22% reduction in the pendency of cases, but similarly 4% annually increase in cases where rural district courts are there. So this clearly gives a digital divide where there is a technical infrastructure is clearly mentioned. The rise of like the improvement in dependencies we can see, but due to digital divide, all the technology is not distributed equally to the all areas of all sections of the all part of the India. So this is the paradox that I wanted to highlight, and for this. There is a digital exclusion that we have to start with open court system or virtual courts. So for that we need to have a digital certification and the high amount of technical infrastructure sector for that. Next. Excuse me. Next. So if we go with the AI, now the challenge is who will take the accountability. Now, algorithm usually work in AI. We call it black box because we don't know what exactly is happening in AI, how it is giving the results. It mostly works on algorithms. But in judiciary, there are a couple of legal doctrines are available where, like I said, two parties should be heard properly. In addition to that, there is also legal doctrine where we cannot have a precedence, like case-to-case basis, subjective to the situations, the decision can change, and it is called a discretionary power of the Supreme Court. So that is a legal principle for Indian judiciary, that even though in one particular case one decision was against a person, similar case still happens, the case will not give a preceded decision for the next case. The reason being the conditions and the opportunities and the circumstances around that. So this black box, problem we call it, we still need to have some accountability in place. So we have a decision support system that is always a human discretion. Even though we have the algorithms in place or the national local language is available for converting the decisions, but still it is one of the challenges. So the paradox that we have seen for the 4% increase, it is because of the bandwidth poverty, and yes, it is in the open court doctrine. So the doctrine is that we should have open court after Corona, that we have got COVID and everything. So it is being given that open court process is allowed. So yeah, so the data sovereignty is also demanding here. So DPDP Act, which is recently enacted, so Article 19 gives the freedom of information, but that information should be evaluated. So if I should have a right to check for how AI has driven that decision, so that part, that decision making should be with the system. So that's why the sovereignty and accountability is required. Now the parity that we have discussed is required digital justice from local ends to Supreme Court. Currently High Courts and Supreme Courts are only having the digitization facility. So we should, government has in phase 3, 7,210 crores rupees have invested for virtual judicial systems or centers in district level. So, what is the ultimate goal? So, the ultimate goal is not just we should have a smart judiciary, we should not have the technical constitutionalism, we should have a smart judiciary where rights by design, like the Indian judiciary should have a system where black box, artificial intelligence black box can have a design how we can interfere with the discretionary power of the judges, and then we also should have algorithmic transparency, and it should protect Article 21. 21 is allowing for right to life, and that right to life with dignity, with a speedy trial. So that is the ultimate goal, and to the last, that rights by design is the important. So these key references were referred here: Justice K. Puttaswamy, Husainara Khatun, Constitution of India, DPDP, E-Committee, and only this was. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you for your presentation. I just like to ask some questions.
Yeah.
What are the practical difficulties associated which leads to this problem of pending cases? What do you think?
Mostly it is the behavioral pattern than the because system. Even if we have the system in place, people are not ready to have a quick justice. Like advocates, I have seen, like currently I'm practicing in court, so I have seen that people are like once we have the case, they typically go for 2 years or 3 years minimum. So when person asks them, this is my problem, I want to get it resolved through litigation, how much minimum time I will get the decision. So it is randomly said that 2 to 3 years you can consider for civil cases.
What do you think about how your this AI system is going to help you for this issue?
The mostly the adjournment case that I said, adjournment now they are in DPDP and a couple of civil procedures code. They have given a timeline, like limitation act is placed, and within 2 years we have to complete a certain part of that. Like most of the time, advocates are not completing their part. It should reach to judiciary only for the decision making. That is not happening in this adjournment and other part. So this AI will give visibility and transparency to the systems.
Any negative side for the use of this AI for your problem? What do you think?
Yes, AI will not going to think, it will just refer to precedence cases, and based on which he will give the suggestions. If people are relying on that particular precedence, it will give rise to anarchy in the sense that it will give predatory decisions. It should not happen.
What do you think about the data which is used required for training? Whether it is available?
National Judicial Data Grid is available, and which is just evaluating. Currently, it is being, like I said, the phase 3 is released. So they are in process of getting that into reality and getting the I would say accountability for particular. So even judges are being told that we have to complete suppose 2 million cases in a year across a metropolitan city as per UK. But compared to UK, in India we cannot have such kind of rule. So that is where we have the diversity of language, race, creed, etc. So that could be a challenge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I just wanted to ask you, as a research scholar, you have only done the study, or you are also proposing something, or you're proposing any approach?
Currently, I'm just studying it. Maybe I will check with my guide and will propose it.
And second question is, this AI, as I have understood, are you mainly using it for digitizing the data, or you think it will also help in judicial execution and actually making a decision? It can remove the bias or something like that?
Bias will be there because even if you have digitization and like I said, the court precedents are available. Search engines are available, like judiciary is also referring to precedent cases. But the thing is, the bias is creating in their mind because of we have a lot of options available. So they are not going to the actual issues, and it should be with compassionation, like it is as per the Indian judiciary. We should have compassionate judicial decisions as per the Article 21. So it is affecting what I feel as per the.
That may be the negative point of it.
Could be, yes. It more reliance on precedent cases will definitely give a negative impact. But if you just use it as a building, maybe just clearing that out of 2 options, which one will be more beneficial? Definitely that will work well.
So maybe more advanced models can actually.
Yes, yes. But it should not be predictive. This is what I wanted to convey through this.
Yeah, the final decision will be in
Yes, intervention is definitely needed with compassion. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Good evening to all. So today I will be presenting the paper on a survey of quantum image representation, challenges, opportunities and future direction in terms of quantum ML and quantum machine learning under the guidance of Dr. Shirish Sane sir. So when we talk about the quantum image representation, the basic two domains are quantum computing and quantum image representation. So quantum image representation is a combination of quantum computing and quantum information processing. So second slide please. Second slide, second. So when we think about the quantum image representation, all the variables, all the pixels or all the items are stored in qubits. So qubits are the basic unit which will be acting as a binary bit, either 0 or 1. So single qubit can be represented as a linear combination of superposition state. So basic mathematical formula is given by psi, alpha 0, beta and 1. So whatever represented in alpha, 0 and 1, that will be the real gate state, which is a qubit representation. And amplitudes can be considered as a alpha and beta, which are the complex entities. But according to the human nature, we are not quite happy with the formulas. So geometrical representation can be given by the Bloch sphere. So Bloch sphere can be converted into three parts: x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. So x-axis will cover all the parts related to zero state, y-axis will cover all the parts related to one qubit state, and equator will be my z-axis, that will be considered phase and angle. So when we talk about the image, quantum image representation, the basic image can be stored into the given formula. The basic image means we can store either position information or color information of the image, and then we can have the interpretation of qubit representation. So this follows the three principles: either superposition of the state, entanglement and the inference. So superposition means at a single time we can have the multiple state, either 0 or 1 or both. And when we consider the entanglement, the particles are connected with each other in such a way that if we make change in one particle, the change will be reflected in another particle, though they are far away from each other. So this is what the brief problem statement and the societal relevance related to justification of my paper. So when we think about the quantum image representation, they are quite speedy, scalable, and it requires number of qubits and quantum circuits more, so that we can have the more advanced technology when we consider the qubit. Fourth number. So in this paper we have covered all the techniques. First techniques are amplitude based representation. So first 20 papers are related to amplitude based. Amplitude means everything will be stored in phase angle or a quantum state, which will cover all the quantum circuits of poly X, poly Y, poly Z and Hadamard gates. Then we will cover flexible representation of quantum images, multi-channel and quantum probability image encoding. So they are very sufficient image retrieval, and it will give the more information loss, or it will enhance the probability of having images into the quantum state. But there are some drawbacks. It will just give the probabilistic retrieval, means information loss or output cannot be completely retrieved from the input. Second, to overcome this disadvantage, we are having the basic states. They are more advanced and working on the grayscale images. So basically grayscale images are the images which will convert your simple pixel into 0 to 255 range, gray to white range, and they will overcome all the drawbacks of amplitude. And third are the more special and advanced, which will cover all the high definition images like satellite images, synthetic aperture images, second medical images, and third you can have the advanced high definition ultrasound images. So these are the techniques, and applications of three techniques of image quantum representations are remote sensing, medical imaging, image compression, image encryption, decryption, image watermarking, and image steganography. So these are the complete work plan where I am going to have the research design which consists of comparative study of all the techniques. Second, methods adapted. We need to design quantum circuits and algorithm which should be optimized and refined. And then tools are most attractive part in terms of quantum computing. The tools are famous tool by IBM is Qiskit. In Qiskit we are using latest version of SILP and AER, and then final version Q-Sharp and QDK, which is a quantum development toolkit. And workflow will be iterative design, simulation, optimization, and experimental validation on quantum images of medical. So this is the simple research methodology of my survey paper. First, we have covered the 70 peer-reviewed papers, which will give the comparative analysis of number of qubits required, which are the performance parameter. How many qubits are required to store a single image or a complete data set of 6,000 images. Then circuit depth, what is the complexity of the circuit and how many gates are required, which are in terms of quantum gates, poly X, poly Y, exactly converse to classical gates. Then information loss, when we store everything into the quantum state, what is the information loss? Finally, hardware compatibility, because we cannot perform experimentation on hardware directly. Currently we are having just simulation on Qiskit. And then this paper represents the future directions with QML, which is a quantum machine learning. So once we store final image into quantum state, we can have any machine learning supervised algorithm, we can build our model and we can check the performance of that model in terms of AI and ML. So this is the basic part, and when we consider the QML, we can have CNN in terms of Q, quantum convolution neural network, then quantum SVM, quantum iterative study, and famous one is the variational quantum circuit, which will give you classification, regression and prediction. Simple example, it will predict the patient has cancer or not on the basis of symptoms, or it will also give the prediction of the weather when we consider into the AIML model. So these are the results of my paper. In terms of research review, only a comparative study. So it will enable the parallel processing, number of qubits will be there, fast retrieval of the images and space requirement will be less. Then I am focusing on all the medical images data set, which consists of 7,000 to 6,000 images. Then I am combining quantum encoding into classical neural network so that it will give the good prediction of each and every data set, which are directly publicly available on Kaggle.com. Finally, compact image storage, it is an advantage. Quantum parallelism because of superposition and entanglement. Then efficient transformation, we can also perform basic operation transformation using quantum. And then integration with the quantum ML model that will give me exact prediction of my data set. These are the challenges. So when we see the brief challenges, limited access to quantum hardware, we cannot get access because currently IBM is giving only 10 minutes per month. We have to use subscription for highest number of qubits. Then complexity of optimizing quantum circuit, because quantum circuits consist of multiple quantum gates and it will require more space. So we need to optimize the complexity. Finally, securing collaborative partnership with the IBM so that we can get the multiple access. And additional cloud base, we should use the AWS to save all the things in terms of qubits. So this is the conclusion. And when we consider the future perspective in QML or QAI, we are having refinement and optimization in quantum circuit, Then hardware implementation plays very important role because it might get good result. Currently IBM is giving 150 qubit system which having 5000 quantum gates, but we cannot have access. If the access permits, we can have more implementation. Comparative study against all the leading existing systems, and finally collaboration for publishing purpose as Springer Nature, quantum reports or quantum discover science, or we can have the MTBI scientific reports. Thank you.
Can you tell four important points where you can compare conventional image processing with ANN, suppose, and you have got this quantum image processing? Only 4 points which are, let us say, this is the advantage of this over conventional.
Okay, when we think about the classical image processing, we have the multiple algorithms. Though there are some data set which gives good result for classical when we compare it with the quantum. Because whatever we do in quantum, it gives, or they are very noise tolerant. Easily we can break it, or we cannot store it because simultaneously multiple qubits are running, entangled and superposition. But we think about the space requirement, we can have better space complexity in comparison with the classical computing. Second important parameter, information retrieval. So whenever we are thinking about the classical approach, they are giving the deterministic retrieval, which is quite good. But when we think about the quantum thing, it is a flexible retrieval. We can change it, and we can even change, or we can even extract the desired feature instead of targeting all the pixels.
So for medical image processing, is the cost justified? That is because you are saying quantum it requires more amount of...
Yes, because currently I am working on it, so IBM just giving me 10 minutes per month.
Yeah.
So when we think about the just normal simulation, it will require only 50k thousand or 50,000 quantum subscription.
You're
So
saving basically time and space.
Space,
and also,
yes.
of course, additional information you are able
yes,
to...
we can also have the quantum encryption. When we want to scan image from one state to another, we can have more encrypted image when we compare with the classical approach.
Have you tested it for some application?
Yes sir, I have tested it for medical image analysis only. So when I try to send my normal classical image in encrypted format to another sender as a receiver, so we will get, or we can easily decrypt it. There are multiple attacks, but when we send quantum image to the other end, we can have more advanced algorithm. We cannot easily break it because they are just changing every time. That's why broad geometrical view are there.
So, is there any specific information which you lost for this process?
Not such information, sir. Only my concern is I want the hardware or IBM requirement so that I can get more number of qubits, more circuit complexity, and I can show my results in better way.
Okay. Can you relate this optimization term which you have mentioned here? Some kind of optimization?
Yes, sir. I am not thinking about the optimization because still it is tough for me to store that image into quantum state, but definitely I will think about it. Thank you, sir.
What is the difference of image resolution while using quantum computing and normal computing?
Okay, when we talk about the image resolution, we are thinking about the either pixel or intensity of the image. Generally, RGB images are present in 0 to 255, and grayscale images. And when we are thinking about the RGB, there are multi-channel. But when we focus on the quantum image representation, they only require qubits. So qubits can have superposition, which is a parallel restoring and entanglement. That's the basic difference. We cannot target a single pixel or single feature. We need to convert, or we need to store complete images into quantum state, then we can extract everything using multiple algorithms.
So in which domain you get the higher resolution, and like quantum computing and normal computing?
Yes, normal computing means when we are thinking about the classical images, if we want to make change in one pixel, then we have to make change in another pixel individually. So this is what individual task. But when we are thinking about the quantum, if we change in one qubit, there it will be reflected in everywhere. So there will be no loss, and execution time will be less.
Good evening everyone. So today we are talking about digital transformation since morning. And digital transformation that is not possible if there is no cloud computing. So cloud computing is the base, and I'm going to talk about a case study which is a very famous case of transformation from classical to cloud. So this case study is the inspiration for many industries and many enterprises who have transformed after Netflix to the cloud, and they have gained the profit as we are observing in the market. So transforming global entertainment through cloud computing, a case study of Netflix cloud migration. I am Mrs. Hemangi Kulkarni from GS R.H. Sapat College of Engineering, Nashik, India. We all know Netflix, we are using this platform. Netflix migration to cloud is a landmark example of digital transformation. And the company, which was founded in 1997, was providing only the DVDs by mail as a rental service. And it went as a public in 2002, launched its streaming service in 2007. By 2008, it is recognized that its traditional data center infrastructure will not be sufficient. We can see the development. They understood that this will not be sufficient for serving the vision of becoming a global streaming entertainment leader. And the entertainment industry was undergoing rapid digital transformation, with the consumer preferences shifting from physical media to on-demand streaming. As we are also going through the same conditions, we can relate. The competition was intensifying from traditional media companies and emerging as those want to emerge as a technology giant. And to succeed in this competition, Netflix needed massive scalability to support millions of current streams globally, high reliability with minimal service interruptions, and ability to rapidly innovate and deploy new features, cost-effective infrastructure, which is scaled with the on-demand and global content delivery with low latency. So all these are the needs that we are going for the cloud computing, and the same were identified by Netflix. So prior to the cloud adoption, Netflix operated traditional data centers housing physical servers, and we all know that it is very hard and it is not economical also. It was using vertically integrated architecture, using the Oracle databases, running on expensive proprietary hardware. It was having limited redundancy, disaster recovery capabilities, and the capacity was fixed, requiring months of planning for the expansion if they thought. The software architectures included monolithic application design, single relational database as central data store, limited API-based integrations, and deployment cycles were lasting for weeks or months. In August 2008, Netflix experienced a major database corruption incident that prevented DVD shipments for 3 days, so which was a big deal. This catastrophic failure exposed the fundamental weakness in the traditional infrastructure, and it has become the catalyst for cloud migration. So this was the reason basically they went for the cloud migration. So the possible reasons for this system outage we can see. The system outage was just the peak of iceberg, and there were very common reasons. We can see the vulnerable architectures, then inadequate disaster recovery, and so many things we can observe here, and those are commonly applicable to all the service providers, and that's what the reason. Next, we can say for the system outage we can have. There were scalability challenges, the capacity planning for hardware procurement, whatever hardware infrastructure was needed, the capacity planning be done. Then over provisioning in case of peak loads, as we can observe, when there is a streaming or the cricket matches, or we can say sales on the Amazon, many times we can observe the peak load. So in such case of peak load, the over provisioning should be there. So planning for that is needed. Expansion barriers while expanding the presence globally and handling the traffic spikes without service degradation was the challenge. Then operational inefficiencies due to the maintenance overhead while maintaining physical infrastructure, network and data center operations as well as the deployment complexity. So all these are the operational inefficiencies in maintaining all these. Then the limited automation as provisioning, configuration and monitoring was done manually. So all these were the problems and the challenges faced. Next. So before migrating to cloud, just the performance check is considered with the metrics, service availability, deployment frequency. We can observe the 98.5% service availability. So that is less than 4 nines, 2 nines like that. Then the monthly to quarterly releases, that was the deployment frequency. 6 to 12 months of major failures, then 3 to 6 months lead time was there as the capacity provisioning. In the disaster case, recovery time was from days to weeks, depending on the case. Then geographic presence, that was limited to only North America, 1 to 2 data centers only, and the server utilization was only 30 to 40% on an average. The innovation velocity was low as compared to another one. That was about 70% resources on the infrastructure maintenance. So this was the performance before migration to cloud. Netflix has opted for next phased migration approach. So the migration was not abrupt, it was in 4 phases from 2008 to 2016, and step-by-step migration was opted first for non-critical systems, then customer-facing applications, then streaming infrastructure, and then complete migration was achieved with the help of AWS. The same performance parameters after migration to cloud, we can observe 4.9 availability was there, reducing the time. Then 4,000 plus deployments per day were achieved as compared to the very low in the previous case before migration. Time to market has been raised to days to weeks for major features. Capacity provisioning, that is in minutes due to the auto scaling. Disaster recovery times has been reduced to minutes. Geographic presence has been to global as compared to only single country. Now it is up to 190 plus countries and 3 AWS regions. Resource utilization has been increased to more than 85%, and innovation velocity has been increased to 90% plus. So we can easily compare. So this is a big case to study for those companies who want to migrate to cloud. Next. Or we can say this was the inspiration for other enterprises. Now more than 90% enterprises has been transformed or migrated to cloud. And the post-cloud infrastructure of Netflix, if we want to discuss, then it has scaled dramatically to support global operations by offering more than 100,000 EC2 instances across multiple AWS regions. So greater than 1,000 microservices. So it has divided the services monolithically, and when more than 1,000 microservices are available in production. Range of data stored in S3, that is the AWS storage S3, that is in petabytes. Millions of requests per second are served during the peak hours. Multi-region deployment is provided across the multiple AWS regions. More than 17,000 Open Connect CDN servers are available in the network globally. So this is the post-cloud infrastructure and possible only due to the cloud migration. Cost structure transformation we can compare before cloud and after cloud. Capital expenditure. So there was a high upfront cost for hardware, maintenance, data centers, upgradation of the hardware or software. After cloud, there was no headache of maintenance because it was the problem of cloud service provider. So minimal cost in the infrastructure purchase. Operating model. Before cloud, it was fixed cost regardless of usage, and advantage of cloud computing, that is pay per use model, which is now provided as operating model. Pay per use variable cost was there due to use of cloud computing. Resource efficiency, which was 30 to 40%. Efficiency has been 10% buffer with auto scaling after the cloud. Overall cost saving that was up to baseline before cloud, and now there is a using the cloud. So due to this expenses, many dollars have been saved and multiple times the profit has been achieved. Next. The comparative analysis we can observe in case of architecture, before cloud it was rightly coupled system with single Oracle database. Now after cloud it has 1000 plus microservices, distributed databases, event driven architectures. Then scalability, there was vertical scaling and we need to plan for 3 to 6 months before adding the capacity or limited due to the physical constraints. After cloud, okay, just go to last slide. So I have covered the limitations also, and as conclusion we can say due to the cloud migration of Netflix, many enterprises has taken the inspiration. They have also migrated. More than 90% enterprises migrated now, and 45% above companies are using the cloud storage. Thank you. Questions?
Ma'am, before cloud, cloud, resource efficiency 30 to 40%, and after clouding, resource efficiency 10 to 10%.
Yes,
So,
sir.
what is the reason for decreasing this resource efficiency?
Actually, before cloud, they were having their own physical infrastructure.
In three distinct phases, pre-crash, crash, and recovery. This design allowed us to isolate panic-driven behavior from normal market dynamics. And the key results, So for the key results, the CSAD surged during the crash from 1.12% to 2.6% dispersion. The working coefficient beta 2 was 0.0186 negative and significant at 10% level. This confirms partial burning. Investors moved together, but secondary fundamentals did not completely disappear. The partial credit finding is nuanced. Banking and real estate showed extreme convergence where credit dominated, but pharma, FMCG, IT maintained higher CSCD. Hurricane peaked in March 2020 when circuit breakers were triggered. The company saw disclosure in private India as nationally tailored. This aligns with the EDA 2000 framework for emerging markets. To summarize, hurling is real, measurable, and crisis amplified. A CSD surge confirms selective panic. The policy takeaway is clear. Still needs better investor education and real-time data transparency to tackle panic, hurling triggers. Let me be transparent about where our research can be pushed further. So, we acknowledge the limitations. Only 15 large cap stocks, daily data, and no isolation from retail from institutional flows. Future work should extend to mid and small cap analysis, integrate NLP, sentiment data, and compare India with Brazil and Africa for a cross-country emerging market view. Thank you. For CSAD, to lower the beta 2 value, it shows stronger presence of hurling. So, the beta 2 value needs to be strong more on the negative side. What I got was 0.018 in negative, which shows like partial hurling. It does not exhibit full hurling. The target is limited. My data set was very limited to technical states. I did not use mid cap and small cap stocks, so that can be influenced.
Can you use this as for prediction? Some type of prediction?
For prediction, like in what sense?
Market analysis.
Market analysis. Personally,
Nifty share price.
sorry, I didn't understand the question.
For any product, what is the cost in future, after 10 years, after 5 years of this product? And other thing is share will be increase or decrease, price of sale will increase or decrease the market.
So using this model, we can predict the
You are contributing anything to this work by survey your cost of some sources of.
most of it is like secondary data. Yeah, I have to collect any primary data.
So you are finding what is the final approach? Is this good or bad?
If it's done like impulsively, then it's bad. But like informed hurting is obviously good. Like if you're following informed investors, then it's of course it's good. But like anything that's done in the state of panic or in the state of impulse, that is bad.
good afternoon, respected chairperson, distinguished scholars, and my fellow researchers. Today I am going to present my research paper titled Technological Advancement in LPG System and their impact on distribution efficiency and clean energy utilization. Liquefied petroleum gas, commonly known as LPG gas, has emerged as one of the most important transitional clean fuel in Indian energy landscape. Traditionally, many households depend on biomass grades such as firewood, crop residue, and dung cakes, which cause severe indoor air pollution and health problems as well. With increasing government initiatives and the expansion of oil and marketing companies, as we all are aware, LPG adoption has significantly increased across the country. The study focuses on Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited (BPCL) Bharat Gas and examines how technological innovations such as GPS Android delivery tracking, digital vehicle bookings, inventory monitoring, and route optimization have improved the electricity distribution efficiency. The Nasik district of Maharashtra was selected as the study area because it represents a mix of urban communities, semi-urban communities with agricultural belts, as well as tribal regions, making it an ideal location to analyze last-mile LPG delivery and the clean fuel accessibility, which is the aim and the research gap which I have identified. Next, please. Now I am going to talk about the research objective as well as the research gap. Despite rapid expansion in LPG penetration, limited research exists on how technological intervention influences distributor performance and supply chain efficiency. Therefore, the study aims to address the gap. So the major objective of this research improvements due to digital systems to study marketing strategy used by LPG distributors in Nasik district to evaluate distributor satisfaction with the BPCL system and to forecast future growth trend of LPG distribution network. Next slide, please. The methodology, the research follows a descriptive and analytical research design. Primary data were collected from 51 BPCL LPG distributors operating in Nasik district using structured questionnaires. Secondary data were obtained from PPSC, which is Petroleum Planning and Analysis Cell reports, government energy publications, academic literature, and LPG adoption, literature on LPG adoption and distribution. Next one, please. I have already excellent. Now, several statistical tools were used for this analysis purpose. The alignment model, time series forecasting, linear regression model was used for growth trend estimation, mean absolute percentage error made to evaluate the forecasting accuracy, and the chi-square test were used to examine relationship between operational variables such as income level, marketing expenditure, and the sales data. The report allows us to analyze both distribution performance and the future growth patterns. Now, results and the findings. So basically, the findings, the results are very important inside. Right. First, the brand reputation was the primary factor, influencing dealership preference. With about 26% of the distributors selecting BPCL due to its credibility and reliability in the market. Next slide, please. Secondly, distributor satisfaction with BPCL system is extremely high. Approximately 96% of the distributors reported being satisfied or highly satisfied, mainly due to digital technologies such as online vehicle booking system, GPS vehicle tracking system, centralized supply allocation system. Third is the marketing strategy among distributors are largely localized. And the next one is the forecasting analysis shows that linear regression with a rate of 2.50% compared to Alabama auto regression integrated moving average of 5.77%. The model predicts continued expansion of its LPG distribution network with 28,162 distributors projected for 2024. Lifestyle analysis further reveals significant relationship between income levels, marketing, investment, territorial coverage, and business stability. And finally, the conclusion part. In conclusion, the study demonstrates that technological advancement has significantly improved LPG distribution efficiency in our district. Digital tools such as GPS tracking, real-time inventory monitoring, route optimization, and electronic proof of delivery have strengthened the supply chain transparency and operational coordination. Hence, the result shows that financial capacity, marketing strategy, territorial coverage, and the distributor experience play a crucial role in business performance. So overall, the technological modernization in LPG distribution not only improves overall efficiency but also supports Indian broader clean energy transition by expanding access to safe and reliable clean fuel. Thank you very much for your attention. I will take questions.
You have used your models for customer side or supply side both?
At the moment, for this particular paper, it's on the distribution point. So distribution network basically. So we have taken the primary data from 51 distributors.
Specific asset.
Yes, from Nashik district.
What is the basic data you taken from the distributor?
The distributors we have talked about the structured questionnaire. We asked them about why they are satisfied with a particular organization, why not with the others, why they prefer PPP state. We also talked about how if the distributor performance is based on how long he is serving with the PPC. And again, the brand image of the PPC. So here I am particularly talking PPC because for my paper, I have only taken the data from the PPC. That is helping us to get the clear indication. The research or the data which we have collected, that is from 2008 to 2023, and the distribution network is linearly improving year by year, and that is what I get from my client.
So you did not compare it with any rival or anything, any other?
Not for this particular study, because when you try to get the future trends, it is, I found it more easy.
So like how useful it will be for the BPCL to have the results?
Well, one of the thing I have mentioned in my commission is AOT based accuracy. Predictive analysis is going to help in the future for the BPCL.
What is it for educational institutions?
That is very, very possible.
You are using linear regression. So, have you observed kind of linear relations?
Yes, sir. The linearity we have observed when we were doing the forecasting. So the data which we have compared from 2008 to 2023. So the graph of network increases year by year. It was in a linear form. And that's why we have taken the RMR as well. Because that RMR is used when there is a fluctuation. But we wanted to identify that it's not the RMR, it's a linear regression is more appropriate than
What do you think if in case you have non-linear relations, for example, then what type of predictive analysis you can have? You can use the other techniques for prediction.
Yes, that's what I have talked about the early. So autoregulative, integrated, moving average. So alignment is mainly used for time series forecasting, but that is intermittent. Or maybe you can say now and then you can go out and.
So basically, what type of prediction you are going to make? What type of prediction?
So the prediction is from this study what identified the optimization, technological optimization in the electricity system and actually efficiently delivering the last level of delivery. And also if we do some kind of more optimization that will help for the day-to-day operations of the distribution system or central coordination.
Where the feedback from where you collected your data?
From the distributors, massive distributors.
And satisfaction level you measured from whom?
From those. So we are not talking about the end user, we are talking about the distributors. So distributors for this particular research, the distributor is our customer. Anyone else? Thank you very much for your attention.
Yes, a very good evening to all the respected panel members. I am Ms. Pranjali, along with Dr. Poonam Chaudhary, actually in the event coordination team. So I am presenting a research paper titled as Predictive Modeling of Soil Health through Microtransfer Optimized Artificial Neural Network. So basically our research paper is focusing upon a machine learning technology for soil quality prediction, which helps in today's agricultural area and for better land management. So let's start with the introduction. As we all know, the soil quality or a healthy soil is a very critical and a very crucial role player in today's agriculture, ecosystem productivity and environmental sustainability. Healthy soil or good quality soil helps in having a better yield crop to manage and maintain the nutrient balance and to have a sustainable farming practices. But however, traditional techniques suffer from intensive labor. Also, a manual laboratory setup is required. So, with the growing machine learning technologies, now it is possible to analyze the large soil data set and we can predict the soil quality quickly and more accurately. And this motivates us to explore the machine learning technique based soil quality prediction. So, we have gone through some literature survey and we have identified a research gap that manual soil quality analysis is time consuming and labor intensive. The existing machine learning models are there, but all of them are giving varying accuracy. The parameter tuning and feature selection remains a significant challenge for all the existing methodologies, and that's why there is a need for a highly accurate predictive model for soil quality which considers multiple soil parameters. So by identifying all those research gaps, we try to achieve these objectives. So we want to predict the soil quality using organic and chemical properties of efficiently. Compare the multiple machine learning algorithms which are existing like logistic regression, random forest and support vector machine, and develop a microtransfer optimized artificial neural network which is an RTP solution, and identify the most influential parameters which affect the soil quality. These are our objectives. To achieve this, the methodology that we have followed is consisting of these many stages. It starts with the data collection. So we have collected a soil data set which contains almost 70 samples. Then the data set goes through pre-processing where we handle the missing values, remove the redundant values and normalize the data. Then the model training was performed compared with 3 existing models, and we have implemented our proposed microtransfer artificial neural network model. And we have evaluated it using a technique which is called as tenfold cross validation, using which we have evaluated it and performance metrics were used are accuracy, precision, recall, and FF score. So based on this, we have evaluated the proposed solution, and by evaluating this, the data set of the experimental setup was like this. As I said, we have taken a data set from Maintaining repository, which is having 781 samples, which consists of different 16 soil parameters, and the samples were collected for long 5 years. And the data set split was like this: 80% was used for training and 20% was used for testing. And the soil parameters which are considered, so the major soil parameters are listed here, which contain soil pH level, then the electrical conductivity, organic carbon, and different chemical parameters such as like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and so on. So with this setup and the methodology, we have found, you can see that random forest gives 90.63% of accuracy, while logistic regression gives 88.90. Support recognition is 87.63, and our proposed micro transfer ANN is the best performer at 94.87% of the accuracy. So with these results, we can say that organic matter and nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, nutrients, these are identified as the strongest predictors of the overall soil health. We also seen that ANN model can successfully capture the non-linear complex relationships within the soil. Also, the tenfold cross-validation results confirm the model's robustness, ensuring it is not overfitting to the training data, and it performs well on training as well as on unseen data. And this finding strongly support the integration of this machine learning approach into large-scale digital soil mapping systems. So, this research strongly demonstrates that machine learning can accurately predict the soil quality from multi-parameter data. Microtransfer optimized ANN outperforms the traditional machine learning approaches, which achieve superior accuracy of 94% on the test data set. And because of this, it supports sustainable agriculture and effective land management. Although it gives a promising result on the taken data set, but still it suffers from some limitations and still there is a scope for improvement. So right now it is for one particular geographical data set and it is giving you the best results, but we can try it for some another data set as well to check the robustness. And in future we can have a data set expansion. Also the IoT can be integrated. And with cloud computing, large-scale processing and remote accessibility for the farmers can be facilitated. So this is what our research is saying, that in today's agriculture part is very important in our country. We say that Jai Kisan and Jai Bharat. So in such agricultural country, today's technological world can give such enhancement which can go to the normal management. So this is what our presentation says. Thank you so much for your attention.
You have posed this micro transfer in which year?
No, so right now I don't have that idea. We have utilized for optimization purpose.
No, I just wanted to know that it's contemporary or it was like 5 years back, or when exactly this term came?
No, that I don't have that idea. For optimization purpose, there are so many options that are available. We have tried micro transfer because for ANN, the other techniques are suitable for linear kind of relationships. Soil is a multi-dimensional concept, which there are so many parameters based on which you can predict the soil.
This was more advantageous.
Yes, micro transfer is the most advantageous as it transfers the best values, optimized values to the number of models.
Which language you use?
Python. Yes.
Why it is known as the micro transformation?
Yes, sir. Because the smaller, it is just like that. If you are preparing a recipe for a smaller cup of cake, that can be utilized for the larger scale. So with micro values, in micro settings, instead of extensive tuning, you can use the same setting for a number of models, which can be the larger accuracy for the accurate results for prediction.
So in this feature selection is better than compared to other methods.
Yes, reducification is better, yes, definitely. And as I said, soil is a multi-dimensional parameter. It is not like that. If the pH is good quality, if the soil pH is in good range, it means it's a good quality. You know, there are so many factors: nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, water contention capacity, organic carbon. So the relationship among all the parameters plays a very important role, and that's why this artificial neural network with microorganisms plays a very crucial role.
When you go for feature analysis, which feature is best? Suppose this feature is best, this feature is best. So which feature is best?
No, we cannot say that the one feature, if it is best, then the soil is best. We cannot say that. There are so many combinations, and depending upon the geographical area, depending upon the region, soil samples, it can differ. That's why it is difficult to predict the quality with the manual analysis. Yes. Yes. No, it is multivariate analysis. Yes, so there are, in the conclusion slide I have mentioned that the organic matter of the soil and the chemical parameters like nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus. These are the most influencing factors which decide the quality of the soil.
You're talking about the micronutrients, right? And to improve the soil textures and degradations of nutrients which we are going to lose by monocropping and all. So parameters which you taken as input, you taken NPK, right?
So 60 parameters we have taken as input.
And what about all those nutrients? Sometimes we are going to add like magnesium, calcium, iron and all. So like as we are going to vary the input, so basically your system is going to...
Yes, definitely. That's one limitation I have mentioned that right now we are doing it on a data set which is considering 16 parameters, that's 16 columns. If you consider a different data set, it might be different. That's a
number of stuff can...
Yes, and number of stuff can be considered. Yes. Thank you so much for giving your valuable time. Thank you.
Hello. So, the first of good evening, the respected judges, professors, and my friends. So, today I am going to present our research topic, which are titled as the non-linear free vibration analysis of the piezoelectric laminated composite plate using the advanced shear deformation theory. So, this research shows that how the smart composite structures of the plate behaves under the different working conditions and how it is vibrated. So, we'll go to introduction part. So, what is meant by the piezoelectric material? So, the piezoelectric composite material is that material that converts the mechanical stress into the electrical energy only, and that opposites the vibration. So, the smart composite materials are variously used in the various fields like the automobiles, aerospace, wind spanners, and the electrical applications in the smart sensors and actuators and in the biomedical applications. So in the research that stated that in the previous study, the non-linear vibration of the piezoelectric laminated composite plate using the advanced shear deformation theories are not very studied, and the previous study were done only on the linear vibration analysis of the piezoelectric composite plate. So we are considered only the linear vibration. So we consider the non-linear vibration also. And the some subject includes the electrochemical coupling effect. So in this research we also consider this effect. And some things like the lower order things are often used which are not suitable for the thick plates. So we are using the advanced shear deformation theories. Advanced shear deformation theories which are generally suitable for the thick plate as well as the thin plate. So this is our objective of the study. First we are the mathematical model of the multi-layer composite plate with the piezoelectric layers and the elastic foundations at the bottom of the plate, and we implementing the two different advanced theories, we predict the results very accurately. That is the third order shear deformation theory and the improved higher order shear deformation theory. So in this study, we are using the three displacement method like the linear method, bond-control method, and the three-lagrangian method that are used to analyze the non-linear behavior of the composite plate and how the vibrations occurs in the composite plate when the different loading conditions are applied. Then use of the numerical methods to calculate the non-linear vibration frequencies and study how the structure behaves under the different working conditions, loading conditions. Then compare the obtained non-linear vibration results with the previously research result to check whether the model is accurate and reliable. And the study how the different conditions like the stiffness foundations and piezoelectric effect, shear deformation affect the vibrations of the plate. So this is the flow chart of our present one. So it is generally we first of all creating the model of our plate and dividing the machines, different elements, types, and mechanical properties, physical properties, different boundary conditions, support conditions, stacking sequence, and then we are using the calculation part. We calculate the stiffness matrix, mass matrix, the different piezoelectric damping effect, then the control matrix, and then in the post processing we run the results and whether the result is stable or not. We first of all concluding with the research paper and the further analysis is done. So this is our experimental setup rules. First of all, here is the 5 layers, one in the PJ force and one in the composite in the middle of that, and we are using the elastic foundations like the linear foundations and the partition foundations, which provide the structural rigidity to our systems, our model. So these are the results.
Get out of the full screen. Full screen na ho, full screen na ho. Target kami sa. So which language you use? MATLAB?
Yes, MATLAB.
Which numerical methods? You said some numerical methods.
Particle element analysis, we do different methods like the one carbon.
So
finite analysis code you have written in MATLAB or you have used the ANSYS package also?
No, we are using the both of MATLAB and ANSYS also.
Okay.
Both we are using. So this is the our result that how the natural frequencies are predicted by the changing the static sequence and that thickness ratio. Which is, so we are using the two theories and compare the results with the previous literature review, so we can ensure that our result is more accurate. So influences of the, as we talk about the thickness ratios and calculations parameters of the fundamental frequency of simply supported multiply, the elastic combination, the natural frequency is also increases. Because of the elastic combination, the stiffness of the system increases. And according to the natural frequency also increases. And these tables conclude that the partition foundations provide the higher frequency than the weaker because the partitions foundation gives the shear interaction between the plates because they are placed horizontally between the plates. And how the temperature parameters is also influence the frequency of the systems. Like if the temperature increases, the natural frequency of the system decreases because the material becomes the soft and which affects the frequency of that system. And the another like the boundary conditions.
Conclusion. What is your contributions? Come for that conclusion. Already you taken more than 10 minutes.
So in that our conclusion the result was the non-linear.
What is your contribution in that?
So our conclusion is that we are increasing the natural frequency of the system by adopting the elastic foundations, using the different theories and the different physiologic layers.
So how do you classify your problems in machine learning, signal processing, linear regression, and arithmetic? What exactly is your main project?
So generally, our project is totally based on the smart composite models. So nowadays, there is a demand of the composite.
I understand that is an application. But mathematically, if you want to classify your problem, does it come under signal processing? Does it come under like numerical methods application or regression or curve fitting?
Numerical methods.
Numerical methods, right? So it doesn't come under like artificial intelligence or
No. It is covered under the smart structure, composite structure. Thank you.
Very well.
Good evening everyone. Myself Dr. Praveen Vishnu and here I am trying to represent my paper on the comparative study of estimation of soil erodibility using ordinary field investigation method and alternative satellite data sources, which is one of the part of USLE data model. We know that soil is very important and irreplaceable resource. At the same time, the thin layer of soil, the creation timeline is a millions of years. So we know that this is the most important to study the soil erosion and to save a top layer of the soil. For that purpose, n number of scientists have tried to study the soil loss. Here I focus on the universal soil loss equation, which is found in 1978 by Bisney and Smith. For this model, it is required total 5 parameters entitled as rainfall erodibility, soil erodibility, topographic factor, crop management factors, and
Sorry, just your name actually I forgot.
Dr. Praveen Vishnu. And the fifth one is the conservation practice factor. Out of these 5, I am just only focusing on the soil erodibility factor, which is known as a K factor. Next. The significance of this study is, in the COVID duration, we are finding out the problem, we are having the limitation to collect the soil samples. So if there is no soil samples, then how we can calculate the soil erosion? So we tried to, can we use the alternative remote sensing data sources for this one? And for that purpose, the field survey, traditionally, field survey is most important for the soil texture analysis. But in this case, we do not have any soil samples, but we are trying to find out the soil texture. As well as not the soil texture, the other parameters which are required for the soil erodibility. Next one. So, I framed the objective to estimate the soil erodibility of USAD model and watershed scale by using remote sensing or you can say spaceborne data and compare it with the ordinary field investigation techniques. Now, for this comparison, I have chosen here very small study area which is situated in Ahmedabad district in surrounding Tennessee, known as a Dev watershed, which is covering only 280 square kilometer area. This is the supportive attitude data of this one. This is my field workflow. Here, the ordinary field investigation requires the soil samples. By using sieving machine, we are analyzing the samples in laboratory. After that, primary data collection that needs the soil sampling. We can find out the soil texture, then organic matter, soil structure, and permeability. But due to the acidity of the soil, we use the spaceborne data. Actually, I use the word spaceborne data here because we are using the satellite data which is downloaded by the Google website, and it is actually not a satellite image. It is the process database which is uploaded by Google in JPG format. It is not a spectral image. So we are using here that JPG image. Then by using this secondary data, we analyze the soil texture. There was an absence of soil samples. So another problem was how to calculate the organic matter, and then identification of the soil texture and permeability. By using both of the methods, one is a traditional one and second one is a newest one, we calculate the K factor, that is the soil erodibility, and then compare it for the results. For the traditional method, we have collected total 7 soil samples in the field. Some out of which some is the watershed area, and for the water interpolation purpose, some were adjacent to the study area. At the same time, this JPG image just only provides us the total 9 pixels or total 9 pixel we can see here for the samples. This is the data which is giving a very coarse sample resolution, that is a 5 km by 5 km. Then that image is processed in Elvis 3.3 academic software, and with that one we extracted the written number as per the criteria which is given on the image. Here we are assuming that the highest value in the image is giving a 25.5 concentration of the clay, and the illumination is a high 3. So for the assumption only, we assume that this is the 100% clay and this is the 0% clay. And then we are following the same procedure for the coarse sand, fine sand, silt and clay. After that, we are achieving these results. This upper result are representing the field survey data for coarse sand, fine sand, silt and clay, and the same parameters are represented here by using which are acquired by using the satellite spaceborne data. If we are observing these results, and we are getting the best result, which are mostly having a same distribution by using the field survey as well as by using the stress bound data. Here, the amount of coarse sand is less in the upper watershed in both of this one, and mostly it is less in the middle portion of the basin. In the same way, if we are observing in another parameter, we are finding out a little bit variation in both of results, but the trends are same. Means the highest value we are finding out here, and the lowest are going to be to the downwards. So we achieve here the soil texture. Next. Next, and how my another parameter was the organic matter. The issue was there is no soil sample, so how we can attain the organic matter? For this one, I visit the government SSC data website where I have got the organic carbon data. At the same time, in one of the literature review, I find out the relationship between soil organic matter and the soil organic carbon. Out of which, if we are multiplying OC, percentage of OC by 1.72 constant, it will give you approximate amount of organic matter. So I use this relationship next, and here I interpolate both of the results. Once again, there are some variations are there. If we are going to pixel wise, it is giving near about more than 70% similarity for the results. Next. Next. My third criteria was the soil structure and permeability. For this one, I use the guidelines of USGS survey, which is provided for the research purposes. By using the soil texture data, we can assign the soil structure code as well as per the review of literature, I assign the permeability code also. Next, first code of data. Next. These are the criteria which are used to identify the permeability. Where if the percentage of coarse sand and fine sand is more, then it will allow you to more permeability, that will be active permeability. And if the proportion is less, then the permeability rate is very low. Now, why I choose this parameter? Because Bismay and Smith has given the nomograph for finding out the soil durability. For that purpose, we need the soil texture, then soil structure, organic matter, soil structure, and permeability. By using this nomograph, I find out the K factor for study area. Now, here both of the results are in front of us. These results are finding out by using the traditional field survey method, and this is obtained by the using software-based space bound data. Now we are finding out here there is so much variation, but the trends are same, and these variations are occur only because of the resolution. Yes. So, guys, so here we can say that definitely for the smallest watershed we are finding out the variation in result, but it is giving the same grade, and it happens just only because of the resolution of data. Because for the smaller watershed, 5 km by 5 km is a very coarse resolution, but definitely we can use it for the bigger watershed. Because if we are just only taking the example of Darna or Pravala watershed, which is one of the small tributary of Godavari, it is covering more than 3,000 square kilometers. So for the data we can remove it. And the last limitation of this one is the resolution. If we are using the high resolution data or the government is providing the high resolution data, we can use it for further but the most important thing, this data is freely available on Google website. And the future scope is definitely we can use it for the bigger watersheds. Thank you.
And who is funding your research?
No, this is a self-project.
So are you collaborating with CSRE, IIT Bombay or anything like that?
No sir, actually I just tried this problem during my PhD.
So it's a part of your PhD?
No, after PhD it is just only in my mind how we can resolve this problem. So I tried it for
you. Use software, Linux or ArcGIS, something like that.
Yeah.
Are they nowadays using machine learning also with them or they are just?
So actually I am from the geoinformatics. So I don't know what is happening behind the screen of the software. I am just only, I can understand the data products, what the results are they are giving and how we can use it for our implementation.
The data sets you have used, have you purchased them or they are free?
No, I am saying that only that is the freely available on Google website. Anyone can take it, easily download it.
They are from Bhuvan or from?
Google.
Not from that American? That
No. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Now, we will be having felicitation our researchers on the peer review papers. So, I am very fortunate we have with us Vaishak Pawar Madam. She is currently associated with the MBB's KP College of Engineering and she is the head of Artificial Intelligence and Data Science Department. Her area of research is in image processing, pattern recognition, AI and ethics and industrial AI. She has published more than 20 research papers in national and international journals. She has also authored books on design and analysis of algorithm, area of computation simplified and data structures. So I would like to request Dr. S. K. Abhinanthi sir, Vice Principal of ISF College of Engineering, welcome already. Yes. Thank you, ma'am, for accepting our invitation. Thank you very much. I also request Dr. Abhinanthi sir to felicitate Dr. Ramakrishna sir. He is also a very key researcher in the Department of Electrical Engineering. I also request Dr. Abhinanthi sir to felicitate Dr. Ranjit Pathak sir. And both these members are peer reviewed for this track also. He is from the Department of Electronics and Telecommunication. Yes, thank you everyone, and thanks to everyone for having your presence here. Thank you very much. Sir, you have to be present. Sir, yeah, great.
Yes, I think.
Yes, you volunteer.
Volunteers come. मॅडम तुम्ही या.